Right. Wanted to talk a little bit today about setting team goals. This is some of the response that we've gotten, feedback that and questions that we've gotten from others that have seen some previous episodes, know me personally, and asked me questions outright, either on Instagram or elsewhere. But when it comes to setting team goals, what I want to do is walk you through how we set up team goals back when I was in college, playing at Eastern Michigan. What I found worked. We had success our last 2 years there, winning championships, and I believe that was large part because we knew where we wanted to go and we were unified around that vision and those goals as a team. And nothing was going to stop us. It was we had the talent, we had the capacity, the talent, we had the vision, the goals, and then we had the leadership that hovered around those and got everyone moving in the same direction. So, how do you start? What's a good team goal to have? One of the first things that I would say is it's one of my favorite quotes by Ed Cole. He says, "You have less because you don't have because you settle for less." What that's saying is the reason you don't have championships, the reason you don't have success in the arenas that you want to have success in is because a lot of times we just settle for less. We settle for less because it's more comfortable. It requires less of us, less discipline, less commitment. Or we settle for less because we don't think we're capable of doing more, which is, I would submit, a large part of it is you just don't think that you can. You look around at your circumstances, your situations, your teammates, and you think we just don't have it. We're missing necessary components to help get us to a championship, which that's you just settling for less. Instead of you as a leader trying to, extract more out of those around you, rise the tide. You just are subject to your situation. You're a victim, and you're not willing to do the things that can propel you and those around you to the next level. So, if I can admonish you in one main thing, it would be really to believe in yourself and believe in those around you at a higher level, and just be willing to say, if someone else can do it, I can do it. If someone else has achieved it, then there's no reason I can't achieve it, using the right principles, practices, and mechanisms in my life that'll cause me to get to that level. You can do it. Yeah, there are outliers. I get it. There's those that are just, naturally gifted and talented beyond the norm. But I would submit to you that the reason we say it's the norm is because it's the norm. Most, even athletes that you see in professional sports, most of them are the norm. They've just submitted themselves to certain practices, principles, and mechanics that have gotten them to that point. Most don't tap into the mental game. Most don't have good coaches that are able to teach them the mechanics. And then most don't have the discipline to do the things that are necessary day in and day out that are going to get you to that, tap into your potential and your fullest capabilities. If you can do those things, there's no reason you can't. That's coming from somebody that I'm just trying to share wisdom with you. I played at a high level beyond most. I had success at the Division I level, but was there more that I could have accomplished? And at this point, I just turned 38. At this point in my life, I look back, having learned what I've learned since I graduated in 2008, and I say, yes, I could have done more. You don't know what you don't know. And there's stuff that I didn't know. That if I had known it back when I was 16, 18, 20, would have allowed me to tap into my potential at a higher capacity and extracted more out of who I am and what I'm capable of, or would have been capable of. So this is me trying to share with you, what I've learned in 14 years since I've played, what I learned and what we actually applied. Because it could be easy for you to say, well, you never made it to the pros. How come? And through this relationship, I'll unpack some of that. And I still don't know everything. There's things that I don't know. There's coaches that I haven't been around. I watched Aaron Judge's hitting coach on YouTube, and I'm like, man, why didn't somebody tell me this stuff? Why didn't somebody tell me and teach me these mechanics? And I am also, there are things, mechanics that we did learn in college. And I just yesterday, my 6-year-old son, I'm taking him through drills that we learned in college that nobody up to that point had ever taught me. And he's getting it at 6. So he's, because of the exposure that I had, because of the exposure that Aaron Judge has had, and now his coach is, active on YouTube. I have that knowledge on how to apply that mechanic in those around me. So, um, I've learned a lot, and there are things that, looking back, that I wish I would have known when I was playing. But now I've applied in business, in my life afterwards, and I'm applying and coaching those around me so that they can have this. So, if you're a Division I athlete currently, and you're in the thick of it, you play Division I baseball, you're getting ready for next season. This is fall ball, fall training. This is where you can really decide to hone in and focus on, where am I going? Who do I need to surround myself? What do I need to be exposed to so that I can tap into my fullest potential? And it all starts with vision. So that's what we're talking about again, just to kind of circle back on, we're team goals. When you set team goals, this is something that we learned and we applied in our last 2 seasons. You're there to win. Nobody goes there to be anything but first place. And if you're saying to yourself, well, based upon how I'm interpreting, the talent on my team, my capability, our past, those circumstances and situations and outcomes, you're limiting yourself. Because I don't think that that's the most important thing. It's going to center around your willingness to submit yourself to the process in terms of your capacity and what you can do, your talent. It's important. But more than that, it's going to be your ability to collectively believe in yourselves, have championship ambitions, and then do the things every single day, the daily disciplines every single day that are going to get you those outcomes. So when we set team goals, I think early on in our career, we would set things like win a MAC championship, go to an NCAA tournament, win 35 games in a season, 40 games in a season, whatever it is. Those would be like our goals. And we would list those: win the division, win the West. And those are decent starting points, but they're in my opinion, in my experience, they don't outline what's necessary. Those are the outcomes you want, but they're not goals that are going to outline what's necessary to get those outcomes. And I would submit to you that those are more important goals. Those are the goals that you want to set and keep in front of you every single day. Because if you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to win a MAC champion, my goal is to win a MAC championship. Okay. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. Your mind doesn't know what to do with that. You're just thinking, I want a ring at the end of the season. And your actions day in and day out are ambiguous and undirected. And you're going to go through days just kind of floating around, hoping that, the end of May, you've got to, you end on a win. But that's not how to set effective goals. You can have that on your goal list, but you need to ensure that you get all the way down to the granular level of what's going to get me that outcome. And so, like, I've got, I'm in business now, and I've got revenue goals, but that's not it. Like, the revenue goal is really just something to keep in front of me so that I can analyze and say, was the rest of the stuff that I did day in, day out, month in, month out, every quarter, did it add up to the result that I was looking for? And if not, then I can say, well, I got to change something. Obviously, I wasn't doing something correctly. I wasn't doing the things every day that were going to get me that outcome. So I gotta look at what can I tweak. And so when you set a MAC championship goal or a Big Ten championship goal or whatever conference you're in, when you set these high level goals, you have to begin to extract what do I need to do every day. And so as a team, my senior year, there was extra work that we put in. We'd go to practice for 3 hours a day, hour and a half a day, whatever it was. And then there was a group of us that would stay after, and we had a routine. For me, it was 300 balls off a tee. Guys would jump in on that routine with me because they saw the results I was getting. And so then all of a sudden I got other guys, watching me and seeing the results that I'm getting based upon a daily practice, a daily routine that I had, that now they're implementing in their lives, which is increasing their performance, their capacity on the field, which is then getting us more wins, which is then adding up to what's necessary to make it to the MAC tournament, which is then putting us in a position to achieve that ultimate goal of winning the MAC tournament. But it started with, what are you doing every day? Are you doing the bare minimum? Are you tapping into the extra work that you can do? And if you're not, and that's why every day is so important, because if you can stack, the more productive, intentional days that you can stack on top of one another, the higher you're going to go. But a lot of times, especially in fall ball, you've got teams that just kind of float around, man. It's like I show up when coach tells me to show up. I do what coach tells me to do, and then I leave. And I don't think about anything. I don't think about baseball again the rest of the day. That's going to produce something for you, but I guarantee it's not going to be the result you want. And so how intentional, how connected are you with what you say you want and what you really want? Because if you want a MAC championship, there's nothing hindering you from getting that other than yourself. And that's going to require that you extract all the way back, what do I need to do every day? And so, and I kind of hopped all the way down to the daily practices, but there are things like we set goals our senior year to win, actually our junior year, to win 2 out of 3 of every MAC series. So every conference series we had, when I played, it was 3 games. We'd play a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if we knew if we won 2 out of 3 of those games, and we did that every weekend, we would wind up on top. And so it wasn't about winning every series. It wasn't about winning 20 games in the MAC. We didn't look that big because we knew that if you get, because then what if you have an 0-3 series? What if you play somebody and you lose 3 games? Now all of a sudden you're trying to press and you're thinking, well, now we got to win. We got to make up for that. And no, you forget it. The next series, you go out and you win 2 out of 3 because that's your goal. That's what you've said to yourself that you and the team want to do. So then you just go out and you win 2 out of 3. And I don't know that we won. I'd have to look back at the stats. I don't know that we won 2 out of 3. Even my junior year when we went 21-4, we probably won every series. But even my senior year when we made it to the NCAA tournament, I'm willing to bet we didn't win every series. But we still, because we were that focused on a granular level of what we needed to do every weekend, and we didn't look back on, man, we lost that series to, Central or whoever it might have been. We just pushed on. We stayed connected to our goals, and they were good goals. They were effective in terms of getting us what we wanted at the end of the year. We had goals to win every inning. Again, it's one of those, if you win every inning, obviously you're going to win every game. But there were innings that we didn't win. And you forget, if it's a past inning and you lost, that inning 5-0, and now the score is 6-1, you're not worried about trying to make up 5 runs. You just said, hey, let's win the next inning. And let's win the inning after that. Because you can't change what's already happened. You have to have goals that are focused on moving forward and not being a past report of your performance that you can't change. There's nothing you can do about that. So it's always have goals that are forward focused and simple enough to say, hey, I need to win this at bat, because those are the next things. It's like when you can just focus on every pitch, just now we're getting into goals of win every at bat, win every pitch. And if you can have those as a team, as individuals, collectively, and then as a team, and you can get 9 guys on the field, they're all thinking the same thing and moving in the same direction of, hey, let's just win this pitch. And as the pitcher gets ready to deliver it, everyone's thinking about the same thing. Just get this ball, win this at bat. And then you win that at bat, you forget about it, then you're on to the next one. And if you can have this level of focus every day, every pitch, every at bat, every game, then you're setting effective goals. Because having, be third in the MAC, that's going to get us into the MAC tournament. Like, why not win? What's going to get you to the top? What are those actual goals that are going to get you to championship? Win 2 out of 3 every series, win every at bat, have daily disciplines that are going to increase my capacity, make me a better player, so that then I can bring my gift to the rest of the team and fill my seat effectively. And then when you've set goals like this, that's not it. That's not the end game, because then it's critical that you don't, because there's power in unity. And so you as a team, when you come up with these team goals, whatever they are, you then have to all have the buy-in, and that's top to bottom. If you've got a bad apple, it's going to ruin the whole bunch. And so everybody on the team, it's going to take, on a baseball team, it's typically about 5 people to live and perform every day at the highest level, and because it's going to bring everybody else up. But if you've got that one person that's not willing to say, hey, I'm not going to connect with these goals or this vision, it's going to be really hard to move everybody in the same direction. So you set these effective team, all-encompassing goals, and then you get everybody on board. And then you remind each other, because somebody's going to strike out at some point. And you got to say, hey, next at bat, let's win the next one. Next pitch, let's win the next pitch. Hey, we won game 1. We need one more game this series. Let's go get it. And lastly, one of the things, I played first base, and so my goal at the end of every game was to be the one touching the ball, because I knew that if I ended the game with the ball in my mitt, we'd win. And I tell people, and I was adamant about it. They knew me. I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to be a support to them, and I wanted them to be a support to me, to ensure that we got it. And so they knew. Junior year, I started this tradition. I said, I want that ball. Give me that ball. And even if the game ended on a strikeout, our catcher would throw me the ball and say, you got it, baby. Game over. And I'd put it in a bag, and I collected those. And I said, this is our our bricks. This is what we're stacking game after game after game. And when this bag gets full at the end of the season, we know that we've done everything we can to put ourselves in a position to achieve our top line goal, which was a MAC championship. And we rallied around that tradition. And I've still got those balls at a bag at my parents' house up in Michigan. I've still got them. So, how are you as a team going to set effective? Not just, you got to set the top line goals, but then you got to break them down. What does it mean every month, every series, every game, every pitch? What are those goals? And then who's holding who accountable? In the best case scenarios, that you as a team are you're all holding each other accountable because you're all unified and connected to the same thing. And you remind each other, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. So next time I'm gonna talk more about individual goals. It's gonna rock your world. A little teaser. I didn't look at my stats my junior senior year. I didn't know what I was hitting. But your personal goals are not what you think they need to be either. So stay tuned for that next episode. But until next time, let's go.